Good morning, everyone. This is my last Saturday morning sit with you for quite a while. So, because this evening, tonight, I'll be flying out to Korea for about 4 weeks. I'll be back, but I'll be gone for a while. So it's good to see you. If I don't make it back, I really will miss you. Let's not get emotional, okay? We're cultivators, aren't we? But I notice that we have more and more people coming, new people coming, and it's nice to see that. It's why we're doing this. We're doing this in order to practice kindness and tolerance. Okay? Never mind by compassion. You don't know what compassion is. Okay? But can we start with tolerance? For example, we have new people coming, and of course, we are a bunch of oddballs. You are not normal. That's why you're here. Okay? If you were normal, you'd go to a real temple. Okay? Learn from a real Dharma master, real monk and nun. We are very unusual in that, for example, you see the kids go crazy in the Buddha hall, competing with me for your attention. Okay? So then it's been brought to my attention, some new people were afflicted by that. Okay, they said, it's so noisy, and it's chaotic, unruly, and some of them actually, some newcomers who came from other temples, they were justifiably concerned. Because when the kids make noise like that, competing with me and making a mess in a Buddha hall and so forth, actually in Buddhism it's quite an offense. It's not a casual thing at all. So understandably, the people in the know would say, we have to stop the kids from making noises and running around like that and breaking things. If you break my statues, you probably will go to the house. No two ways about it. I broke my own statue, so I am on my way as well. Okay, I read somewhere a long time ago, a bodhisattva said, if you steal from a triple jewel, it's nothing I can do for you. If you shed the Buddha's blood, boy, are you in trouble. Okay? And we let our kids run around at the risk of, ruining our cameras and our statues and so forth. And we still let it happen because it's my responsibility. I absolve them of any consequences so that they can be themselves. Why is that? Because I'd rather they hang around here where it's safe for them, and you don't have to worry about them. You can keep an eye on them, and there's a time for you to bond with them. And so, yes, newcomers would be shocked by that, and they're justifiably concerned. So be kind, and leave them alone. Don't talk to them too much. They won't be around long. Okay. But if they stick around, they keep on coming. Now it's glasses. Never mind. Then, it's just like when you go to a restaurant I go to the restaurant, and you know what I do? I judge waiters and waitresses. It's important to me, the service is just as important as the food, almost as important as the food, okay? And I really appreciated what I learned from the fancy restaurants that I occasionally have a chance to go to, is that the waiters or the waitresses are dressed neatly in black and white. Anyone? And the good ones, the good restaurants, expensive restaurants, you know what the waiters and waitresses do? They stand in the corner right there where you don't even notice them. And what they do is they keep an eye on you. They leave you alone. And they don't come to you unless you need something. Okay? That's service. It's the same thing. When new people come, leave them alone. Okay? Let them be. And don't do anything until they're afflicted. Okay? And I want you to know in particular, you have this weakness. It's no right and wrong. You should have enough wisdom to know by now that cultivation is not about right and wrong. If you have real wisdom, you won't get afflicted. Even when people are wrong, you're not afflicted. When they're right, you're not pleased. When you're right, you're not pleased. You don't get afflicted. Okay? So that's what I call tolerance. Let people be themselves. Okay? And when they're too afflicted, then talk to them. Come over and gently give them a cup of coffee, give them a can of Coke or something. No, not Coke. Pepsi. You know why? Because Warren Buffett is big investor, one of the biggest investors in Coca-Cola, which is poisoning the world. So I'm eventually will switch to Pepsi. How did I get to Pepsi again? Where was I? No one was listening, clearly. Someone afflicted? Who's afflicted? So don't leave them alone. Okay, let them be. Okay, because if you talk to them too soon, they think we're trying to sell to them. Okay, of course, this is why that's what makes us different. Because typically, there's so many temples out there nowadays, vying after the same Buddhist disciples, the same visitors, and therefore they expect the people who go to temple expect to be treated, expect the red carpet to be rolled out or to welcome them. We don't do that. We're here to cultivate, and people who come and wish to learn how to cultivate, we share with them. Otherwise, we're not trying to sell anything, not ourselves, not our dharma, not our food, nothing. Okay, so let them be, and so for example, in the case of some people at DTT, I'm told that got afflicted and said, you shouldn't bring your kid to the temple anymore. So she's right, but at our temple we don't care. Okay, bring your kids, let them be. Okay, it's a time for you to bond. What is bonding? Bonding is, what is bonding? What is bonding? Yes, one.
Just being there and giving your attention.
Absolutely. That's it. Bonding is not that you have to do anything particular, just to be there. You know, I remember when I was, I first got a job as a programmer in Minnesota. And my grandma, my late grandma, who used to like to say that in her life, the two people she loved, one my late father, and number two me. Moi. Okay? Why? It's only because I used to look like my late father. He was her only child, so that's it. All love she put into him, that's it. But I happen to look like him, so he said, well, it's my second choice. Very shallow. We are very shallow people. So I got my first job working as a programmer. I got my own apartment for a change, a one-bedroom apartment. And I bought one sofa, one coffee table. That's my furniture. The entire apartment has one sofa, one coffee table. That's where I eat, that's where I ate, that's where I entertain, you know. And one day, my grandma, who used to live here in San Jose, I was in Minnesota, Minneapolis, and she said, I want to come see you. I said, why? He said, because you don't come see me. So she came and paid me a visit. What did she do? She sat in my sofa all day, waiting for me to come back from work. And then I would tell her American jokes. Knock, knock, that kind of thing. And she laughed. She didn't understand anything, but she laughed anyway. And then we didn't do much. And then later, after she saw me, she went and saw my uncle in Montreal, and she went and she came back to San Jose, and then she died. So that's her way of saying goodbye. She went around, never told anyone she was dying. You know, old people, when the flame is being extinguished, they knew. And so she went around to say goodbye, and what did she tell me? Nothing whatsoever. She didn't say, get married, bear me some grandchildren. What's the matter with you? You're supposed to produce heirs to our names. No, she simply sat there and listened and looked at me. And I remember that look. I caught her every now and then, you know, at the sofa, looking at me with this kind of tolerant love. There's nothing you can do that's wrong to me. Okay, and it meant so much looking back, and that's how I remember my late grandmother. Is that she's illiterate, bipolar, very bipolar. I think that's where I got it from. Very violent person. That's where I got it from. All the good genes pass on to me, I think. But I'm glad, I'm so grateful that she taught me that lesson where you don't need to do anything. Just be there. And that's what we do. We don't have a whole lot to offer, but we're here. If people come and they wish to sit with us, learn with us, we share with them. And that's it. Okay? So same thing. We encourage you to bring your children, your grandchildren, your wife, your mother, and so forth to the temple and just spend time with them. Doing stupid things, nothing important. Just to be there. That's all. No seeking. Not trying to prove anything. That's all. And that's practicing kindness and tolerance. And eventually, when you have wisdom, then your tolerance and kindness will also develop into compassion. And that's a function of wisdom. Until you have wisdom and Chan, the Chan practice, meditation practices are designed to help you unfold that compassionate heart of yours. That compassion inside of you is buried inside of you. And as you get better and better, you'll be able to wield that compassion and truly help others. Okay? And so newcomers, be kind to them. We don't have a whole lot. I'm glad to tell you that I'm making, and we are making arrangements to be able to accommodate more people to come here. So for example, we have online classes, but also it's not a substitute for you being physically here, okay? Because it's not about me speaking a Dharma. You are also taking part in speaking a Dharma as well, okay? By being yourself. Yeah. And so even though I'm not here, you continue to speak Dharma yourself, okay? The Dharma of kindness, the Dharma of tolerance, yes? And it's a lot more than that, yeah. And so we may not have a whole lot to offer, but I feel that nowadays, pretty soon we'll be able to accommodate, a dozen people overnight, fairly comfortably here. At Dharma Church in San Francisco, which is about 45-minute drive from here, we should be able to accommodate between, maybe a couple of dozens there, comfortably. And of course, Way Mountain Temple and Lu Mountain Temple, we should be able to accommodate 5 dozens or so, okay? So that's good enough for now, okay? And so that you can take a break from your worldly worries, from your oppression, from your work, from your family life. Come, relax, learn how to restore your balance, how to become healthier. Chan practice will make you healthier, okay? Both physically as well as mentally. And so that's why we're here, and so feel free to take advantage of it. All right? Any questions or comments? Yes, 5.
A Di Đà Phật, thưa thầy, ở trong Bát Nhã Tâm Kinh có cái câu là quán tự tại Bồ Tát hành thâm bát nhã, Ba La Mật Đa thời chiếu kiến ngũ quẩn giai không. Câu hỏi của con là chiếu kiến và suy nghĩ khác nhau như thế nào?
Okay.
Mahaprajna Paramita Heart Sutra, there is a verse which said, contemplative as is bodhisattva, practice when he practiced deeply into, he saw that the 5 skandha is empty. He can chao chien, contemplate and see that. What does that mean? That it is thinking mind doing that? How should we think of it?
No, what's the difference? The sutra says, contemplate, chao chien, illuminate and contemplate it. The illuminate, chao chien, illuminated and saw that the 5 skandhas are empty. What is the difference to illuminate? Chao chien. How is it different from thinking? Okay, you have to be careful. You have to translate verbatim. Don't try to interpret that. Does YouTube have an answer or another question?
Another question.
Another question. Okay, one question at a time. Mine can't take it. What is it? Okay. What she's referring to is the Heart Sutra, which is a summary of the teachings of the Prajna Dharma in Buddhism. Prajna Dharma, Prajna is Sanskrit for your transcendental wisdom, meaning that you have it. Yeah, you have it. You just don't know how to use it. Okay? And this is why we're here. We're here to teach you how to use it. All right? And so what is this wisdom? Wisdom here, this prajna wisdom is relevant to you because once you have this wisdom, you will no longer suffer. Anyone interested? Your wife yells at you, you're still happy. You lost your job? Okay. Okay? It's pretty cool. That wisdom there. Not only are you happy inside, so that's why I saw my disciples who opened his or her prajna wisdom. I saw it's like this person all of a sudden changed and became happy. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And so, such a cool thing. But not only are they happy, are you going to be happy? And I promise you, it's just not them. It's any of you could be like that. Yeah. And not only with prajna wisdom you be happy, but you also become a real asset to society, to me. It's kind of a cool thing. Only you know you're an asset. No one knows. Okay? No one else. Only we know. Okay? That's how it is. It's not supposed to be a commercial thing. Okay? It's a low-key thing where you just help and you disappear. You don't want people to know. All right. So what does it mean, chao chien? So the Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva or One Yin Bodhisattva or the Bodhisattva of great compassion, when she was practicing that Dharma or prajna wisdom, try to open it. Okay. try to unfold it, try to make it permanent. And so she illuminated the 5 skandhas. The 5 skandhas are the 5 components of your ego. Ego, okay, this is Buddhist technology, proprietary technology that is totally uncopyrighted. Okay, if you want to squash your ego, okay, the Buddhists know, they're taught, and they're able to squash the ego, get rid of the ego by eliminating the 5 skandhas. The 5 skandhas are the 5 components of your ego. Your ego has, is attached to form. Sound familiar? Of the first man? Yeah? Or if you're more manly? Or if you're very short, you go. This is what I recently saw in the movies. Because they don't have a long beard, so they have the beard only here. So that's when they go like this. Anyway, it's a man thing. You wouldn't understand. None of them have beards. Anyway, so you attached to your ego is very attached to your body, to forms in general. Okay, that's the nature of your ego. Number 2, what is your ego attached to? It's attached to feelings, especially it seeks out good feelings and rejects bad feelings. Especially what kind of bad feelings? Leg pains, anyone? Okay? You are so attached to feelings. Yeah. And number 3, you're attached to thinking. You like to think. You can't stop thinking. You think it's cool to think. You think that's what smart people do. Yeah, smart people think, but wise people don't. Oh, that's a good Dharma glimpse, huh? Cool. Smart people think, wise people don't. Okay, you like to think, number 3. Number 4, you have something called activities where actually your bodily functions function without your conscious intervention, such as your heart rate, your breathing. That's activities, okay? And that's part of your ego, okay? And number 4, awareness or consciousness. You're aware, okay? The awareness. That's from your sense organs. You're aware of heat. You're aware of I don't know. I lost track of my awarenesses. Okay, so those are the 5 skandhas. So the Buddhist training, your Chan training there, we don't want to admit it, but the Chan training is predicated upon helping you break down those 5 components. Okay? And the Buddhist parlance, jargon is that they illuminate it or they contemplate. Okay? Illuminate is contemplation. Can be used interchangeably. What's the difference? Illumination is use your wisdom to shine a light upon it. Okay, so look at it like the searchlight in the wisdom somewhere in your mind that shines upon it, which is basically contemplation. Okay, you keep on shining a light on one thing. constantly. And eventually, you break through and you see that the 5 skandhas are empty, meaning that they're empty. Okay, do it and you see. So that chant practice here, okay, it looks casual, looks like you're not doing anything, like sitting there and doing nothing. Actually, that process is part of our training to teach you to rise above the 5 skandhas, break free of the bonds and the shackles that the ego has on you. So that you can truly be happy, can truly be yourself. And people have done it. We're not just talking. And so the Bodhisattva, she opened her wisdom by contemplating or illuminating her 5 skandhas and saw they all empty. So the question is, contemplation, illumination, how is it different from thinking? Very simple. Oh my God, I don't have a whole lot of time left. Have a plane to catch tonight. Okay, I'd like to hang around with you, but ain't got all day. So what is the difference? Thinking inherently, let me explain it to you. I don't think the Buddhists did a good job elaborating this, and I'm glad you asked the question. Okay, that's very good. I don't answer until you ask. Yeah. And unlike most people who try to tell you how much they know, I don't know anything. Seriously, I don't know a whole lot. So I only make up answers when I'm asked questions. So please take everything with a grain of salt. Her Fang there is, wow, I'm learning so much. Me too. So, what is the difference between contemplation and thinking? The thinking is a process where you have one thought after another, incessantly. That's thinking. Yes? Sound familiar? That's what you do. That's what you do at work. Yes? So that's what you do at home. You think at work, and you go home, you think of, your children, you think of your family. Because you keep on thinking one thought after another, Okay? I'm cooking for my family, and then set the tables, call the kids, okay, and so forth. You one thought after another, okay, non-stop. That's called thinking. Same thing at work. We think of this and that and that. Daydreaming, same thing, thinking, yes? Think of going to Korea with no cheese. What am I going to do? Should I bring some? They did tell me I could pack something and, put it in my luggage. It should last me 4 weeks. So see, I'm thinking. You can't stop. The thoughts follow each other incessantly. We can't stop. That's thinking. What about contemplation? Contemplation is just the exact opposite. Contemplation is we think of one thought only. You will concentrate on one thought, not second one. Second one arises, we chop it off. Go back to first thought. Another thought arises, stop. Go back to one thought, the original thought. That's called contemplation. Is it clear? That's the difference between contemplation and thinking. Contemplation is, and it really bothered me when I first learned from a Chinese. They said, contemplate. I said, say, what? What's contemplation? And no one really explained it to me. Master Hsuan, did he explain contemplation? You. Yeah, you. No, you. Hey, you. You believers. You. You. Oh, this side. They all are true disciples of Master Hsuan. This guy's been with Master Hsuan for like 40 years? Close.
Since 3rd or 4th grade?
3rd and 4th grade.
Yeah.
And how old are you now?
42.
42. See? Almost 40 years. How do I know? Okay. That guy there, he looks too young. See, they all are believers and followers, Master Hsuan. Did he explain contemplation? No. It bothered me, by the way. I read his teachings and I couldn't understand contemplation, and his disciples, of course, contemplate. What's there to ask? What don't you understand? I said, the point is, if you did understand, why can't you explain it to me? Anyway, yeah. Did I answer your question? Good question, by the way. It's a very good question. I'm glad you asked, because this is something that the Chinese don't explain to their followers. Yes, 5.
A Di Đà Phật. Dạ, con cảm ơn thầy.
Hang on, we have a YouTube question here.
From Deng Nguyen. When I am meditating for about 10 to 15 minutes, my face muscles move by themselves. My eyes start to open and close involuntarily, then my mouth moves. My tongue moves, I chuckle and make other weird sound. It lasts for 3 to 5 minutes and stopped. Then it would start again. Is this normal?
For you, yes. Don't worry about it. It will go away eventually. Okay, number 4.
Amitofo Master, back to that question about wisdom. Will doing number 20 helps open up our wisdom and resolve our affliction?
Okay, one more time, please.
When we recite number 20, hands and eye.
20 is...
Yes. Yes, that one. Does that help us opening our wisdom and resolve our affliction?
Of course, everything we do will open your wisdom and resolve your afflictions, we like to think.
But does
Is
number
that
20...
a trick question?
No. Does number 20 make it faster?
Does it what?
Number 20, reciting that will make it faster.
Make it faster?
Process.
Not necessarily. The hands and eyes, we give it to you in order to sort of teach you some tools they can use later. Okay, and it's a gift from Master Hsuan. He brought the Dharma to the United States, transmitted to his disciples, and then never transmitted it to me, by the way. And one day he said, you should transmit the hands and eyes to them, I mean my disciples. I said, really? And I said, okay. I was so glad. Okay, let's transmit. I've been waiting for 10 years now. Let's transmit to them. And then after transmitted for a while, I said, wait a minute, is it his or is it mine? because he never transmitted it to me. And he told me, go ahead and transmit it to them. Teach them. So finally I understood it's not his, it's mine. That's why he never transmitted it to me in the first place. I have it already. Why would he want to transmit it to me? Just like I have a red car already. You want to give me another red car? No thanks. Okay. So anyway, so those hands and eyes is something the Master Hsuan sending us a message. He says, you open your wisdom, but if the Chan school, the Chan practitioners, they open the wisdom very, very fast. Okay? But then what? What are you going to do with your wisdom? In our world, when you're wiser, you're supposed to help others. Make sense? And in order to help others, what does a carpenter need? Tools. Engineers need tools. Everyone needs tools. So the hands and eyes are one of the major tools that we use in our work, okay, among others. And so when you practice them, not only eventually you'll be able to use them, but it also helps you unfold your wisdom faster as well, in general. So not necessarily in number 20, but you should be doing all of them. Because each one of them has a different function, is helping in its own ways. Okay, so it's a real treasure, by the way. Once you have it, it's like in the future, you'll be able to receive transmission again pretty easily. So it's a real treasure, and you should take advantage of it. Anyone else? Any other questions? Yes. 4.
Going back to the previous question, in the Heart Sutra, one is said that Guan Yin Bodhisattva contemplates and see the 5 skandhas as empty. I wonder what was she contemplating on that led to seeing 5 skandhas as empty. There's one thought, like per master's explanation, contemplation is you have one thought.
Okay. Well, if you do it the way the sutras explain it, or the way that the Chinese do it, they contemplate the 5 skandhas. What are the 5 skandhas?
So the sutra says 照见五蕴皆空. So it's not very clear just from that text. Is it contemplate the 5 skandhas and saw them as empty, or it is contemplate and saw 5 skandhas as empty?
Okay, so technically speaking, contemplated the 5 skandhas, meaning that what are the 5 skandhas? There's 5 skandhas again are form, feeling, thinking, activity, and consciousness. So you're supposed to contemplate them, and you look further into the sutras. There is an order of contemplation. You don't contemplate the 5 skandhas as a lump. Okay, you're supposed to contemplate. There's an order. You first contemplate the form, and you see the forms are empty. And then next you contemplate the feelings. You see the feelings are empty. Third, you contemplate the thoughts. And so thoughts are empty, will be forever for some people. Okay? And then you contemplate activities, is empty as well. and then finally you contemplate the consciousness. Your awareness is empty as well. So far, so good. That's the theory behind it. You do in that order, you open your wisdom. And that's a slow Chinese way. You do it, guaranteed, it's going to happen. That's what the Hinayana people do to reach the level. They do that, okay? And that's one way. You see, even look at us. Do we do that? No. We don't contemplate the body as empty. We contemplate leg pains as empty. As long as you keep on complaining and writhing, oh, go away! Then you make it stronger. The pain becomes more intense. Okay, see? So there's theory and there is practice. Okay? If you were by yourself, you read the text and you read the instructions, like what a lot of people like to do, then they go through that process, they contemplate number one, form of feeling, and so forth. For us, it's too slow. Okay? Way too slow. So that's, by the way, that's, what is it? Yeah, gradual illumination. Too slow for us. They didn't know that over there, okay? Master Shiro never explained it to them. But everything okay, man? You see? Look at that. Now you're laughing, but guess what? He look at me, it's empty. See, it's working. He begin to see emptiness already. He says, Master is empty. When he talks to me, I can ignore him. Empty meaning you can ignore it. Make sense to you? Empty is not a word. Empty is an attitude. Noise is empty. Anyone? You are practicing emptying the noise. You're practicing emptying the children. Is that clear? You think it's theory? You're practicing right now. And it takes cruelty. Sometimes you have to be cruel about it. Ten more minutes. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there. 10 more minutes. Don't quit. Are you going to quit? Okay? So there's the theory behind it is you contemplate, you should, if you go through the training, eventually you see that the 5 skandhas are empty. That's all. But in our environment, we don't necessarily go through the same order, go through the same process. Okay, our training is quite different from the Chinese style of training because we put more emphasis on the certain style of wisdom, certain teaching. Okay. And that's why it only works for strange people. People are not normal. We call it abbeys, the abnormals. Okay. Yes, 5.
Thưa con thấy rằng nếu mà cái cậu đó cậu la sùm mà mình không quan tâm tới thì tự nhiên nó thành không. Như con nít mà nó phá, nó làm ồn, mình không quan tâm tới thì nó cũng là thành không thôi, không chấp vào đó.
Amitabha, I see that just like that guy, he yelling a lot. We don't pay attention. Naturally, it will become empty. Just like the kid, they play around and we don't pay attention to it. It becomes empty. We don't attach to it.
That's correct. But it's not all of it. You're only beginning to understand emptiness. It's a lot more than that. A lot more. Okay. But the principle, the point that should be understood is that it doesn't matter how you do it, as long you manage to empty the 5 skandhas, then you're free of your suffering. That's all. And the way the Chinese do it is more or less gradual. But for us, we don't have such patience. Too slow for us. Okay? So it looks like we're not doing anything, but actually, you're being trained to empty your 5 skandhas. How's that? Okay. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Yeah. Yes, sir. 6. Use your chance. Because after this, I'll be in Korea.
So in the gradual teaching, is it dependent? The second skandha depends on the first one being empty, but then does that mean that in the sudden teaching, if consciousness is the last skandha and you empty that first, then all the subsequent ones empty as well?
It won't work. You can't empty number 5. With number 5 cannot be emptied until number 4 is empty, unfortunately, according to that model. Okay? And that's the theory behind it, is how it is. Okay? But there's unspoken. The Buddhist teaching, by the way, has spoken and unspoken. What Master Xinhua did was to bring the spoken teaching to the United States. And he tried to transmit the unspoken. As you listen to his teaching, there's some unspoken dharma there. But because it's unspoken, okay, the allusions to it, or indirect allusions to it, fingers point on the moon, as the Japanese like to say it, to put it. It's so subtle that it's difficult for you to pick it up, unless you heard it before. If it's the first time you hear of it, you can't pick it up. But if you say, yeah, of course. Okay, just like you said, I said 5 skandhas empty. You said, yeah, that's what I can experience. But it's because you've seen it before. That's what you understand. What you don't understand is the unspoken part. Yet, that's why I said what you express, your understanding, is only half of the picture. There's the other half. So in a way, my master said, I understand half of Mahayana. In a way, it's like a hint to say, I'm only teaching you half of my Mahayana. It's the other half that you ain't got yet. Yeah, I'm not transmitting to you yet. It's not true. You understand only half of Mahayana. And it doesn't work like that. Okay? All right? He understands more than half. But you understand only half. That's why I say, okay, that's all you got. Okay? Anything else? Last chance, folks. 3 more minutes. Yeah? Yes, one.
Master, is there a difference between sitting longer versus sitting in multiple sits throughout the day?
It's similar. But what's the difference? Whether we ask you to sit like 3 hours, and you said, 3 hours, why don't I sit like an hour here, half an hour there, 20 minutes there, and then it adds up to 3 hours. Yes? Same thing, right? Is that the same thing? Is that the same thing? Of course it's not the same thing. What's different? What's the difference? The difference between the two models, the two approaches, is that I sit for 3 hours versus I sit for multiple sits and it adds up to 3 hours. Is that the difference? Is that you do multiple sits, you quit multiple times versus quitting only one time. That's the difference in training. You allow yourself to quit multiple times. Whereas if you sit through it, then you only one-time loser instead of multiple-time losers. So simple, huh? One more minute. I'm gonna miss you. The Koreans would never do this, let me tell you. Yes. Okay, bad luck for you. It is still a question. 4.
Master, which one is more important, the sit longer and sit single-minded? One we can still cannot combine them.
Just sit. Just sit. Don't look for excuses not to sit longer. Okay, we stop here today. Thank you all. Okay, it's over. But you don't have to stop. Keep going. Okay, let's go eat and let him be. Hey, you know, this young girl here, listen, this young girl here